Introverts and personal space. It's not something that they just want. It's something that they desperately need, that alone time to recharge. My name's Antoinette Griffin, and as an introvert, I'm going to share with you some ways that you can give the introverts in your life the personal space that they so desperately want, but they may not tell you. Number one, the way to give them personal space is for you to initiate it. You see, a lot of times introverts don't want to admit that they need some space from you because it sounds rude. It sounds rude for the introvert to say, hey, I need some time alone. Because they know that the other person may not understand it, or the other person may be taking it as the introvert doesn't even want to be with them, when that's not the case at all. This is most of the time not about you as the other person. It's not that they're trying to get away from you. It's more about them and their need to recharge, their need for some alone and quiet time. And not only are you likely going to have to initiate giving them personal space, but in the beginning of a friendship, relationship, working relationship, you're probably going to need to just do it rather than even ask them if they need it. Because a lot of times, if an introvert doesn't know you well and you were to say something like, hey, do you need me to give you some personal space, some alone time? Even though they may really want it, they may say, no, I'm fine. And then on the inside, they're really wanting it, but they're really too embarrassed to say. However, if it is a situation where you have a great relationship with someone and there's a lot of trust built, then sure, go ahead and ask them. And by that point, they're probably good with telling you, yes, I really do need my space, because they know that you've got the kind of relationship to where they know that you'll understand. Second, don't plan on socializing with them for long periods of time without giving them breaks. Even though they may appear that everything is fine, it's likely that, like I mentioned, on the inside, they may need that recharge time, but they just don't want to say it. It surprises me how many people in my life who know that I'm introverted, and they'll even talk to me about my introversion, but they disregard it when it comes to socializing. They won't give me any breaks. It's as if they think that my need for solitude doesn't apply when I'm with them. A couple of years ago, my husband and I were meeting a couple of friends in Kentucky. She had everything planned for the weekend. She said, we're going to pick you up, and then we're going to go eat at this restaurant, and then we're going to go here, and then we're going to go here, and then we're going to have dinner here. And there wasn't any breaks from them. And I found myself starting to get anxious, even though I like them a lot. And thankfully, she called me right before the trip and she said, I started looking at this agenda that I have for our trip, and I'm starting to wonder, is this too much for you? Do you need some downtime? And I said, yes, that's exactly what I need, is some downtime. So the key is leave the introvert wanting more of you rather than less of you. And ask yourself that whenever you're socializing with them. If I left now, would they be wanting more of me because I'm leaving, or they're getting socially exhausted? That's the key. Leave people wanting more of you. Before I get to number 3, if you are liking this video, I hope that you'll press like and subscribe to my channel for more videos around introverts. The third way that you can give introverts personal space is by suggesting that they meet you somewhere rather than riding or traveling together. I get anxious if I think about a long car trip with anyone outside of my husband. The idea of sitting on a plane and sitting next to someone, even if I know them really well and even if I like them really well, and having to make conversation before we have even landed to the place that we're going together, kind of stresses me out. So no matter where you're going with the introvert, whether it's a trip or whether it's a party or whether it's sometimes even a date, have them meet you there so that they can just have that recharge alone time before the actual event or date or party takes place. That way, they'll be more energized by the time they see you. Another reason why it's good to allow them to just meet you somewhere is so that they can leave when they're ready, so that they won't feel trapped in any kind of social setting. I've actually got a video above and in the description below about an introvert's fear of being trapped, so be sure and check that out. The fourth way you can give an introvert personal space, if you live with an introvert or if you share space with an introvert, such as you work in the same office, to periodically leave that physical space that they are in just so that they can have some alone time there. Whether it is moving to another room to the house to maybe go read or watch TV or be on the computer, but you are in another room of the house, and if it's work, if it's possible to actually even leave your office if you share an office with them and go work in another office or a conference room, if that's possible, to let them have some alone time. They're going to appreciate it even if they don't tell you. With all of these, if the introvert asks you any about this, just say, hey, I just wanted to give you a little bit of alone time. Don't make them feel weird. Don't make them feel like they're some odd person. Just let them know that you're respecting their need for alone time, and more importantly, that you understand it. Do you have some ways that you give the introverts in your life space? Or are you an introvert that you would love to say, hey, this is how you can give me personal space? If so, please put those in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.